What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, J Mill. J Mill, if you like. So let's get into it. So, Cowboys lose again today. I know I picked it correctly, but it's still disappointing. On the season, I'm something like the opposite of the Cowboys record. So I think I'm like 5-3, maybe 6-2. Picking Cowboys games. Kind of wish they were 5-3 or 6-2, but nevertheless, this is where we are. So if you decided to just look into the Dallas Cowboys game and you went in there like strictly off the statistics, you would wonder how the Cowboys lost the game. So I'm just going to go down some of the key stats here, right? The Cowboys had 23 first downs to Atlanta's 17, right? 9 rushing first downs. I mean, Cowboys, since when does that happen? Atlanta was 4 of 13 on third down. Cowboys were 3 of 13. So both teams were not really good at all. The difference is Atlanta made both of their fourth down conversions. Cowboys were 20%, 1 for 5. But let's keep going. Total plays, Cowboys 74 to Atlanta's 56. Total yards, Cowboys 378 to Atlanta's 310, right? Cowboys passing yards 241 to Atlanta's 210. Cowboys rushing yards 137. 137 to Atlanta's 100. And not only that, the Falcons ran it 30 times, right? The Cowboys ran it only 21, 6.5 yards per carry. The Cowboys, I mean, I can't say this for a fact, but it's probably their best rushing game of the season. Probably their best rushing game of the season. Okay? Now, some of the other key things, Atlanta, half the penalties the Cowboys. Cowboys had 9, they had 4. But Cowboys didn't turn the ball over at all. Atlanta turned the ball over, and the Cowboys won the time of possession. If you went down this and didn't give me the final score and just kind of told me, hey, man, the Cowboys are going to run about 20 more plays than the Falcons. They're going to rush at 6.5 yards a carry. They're not going to have any turnovers. They're going to win the time of possession battle, and they're going to also have more total yards than the Falcons. If you told me all of that going into the game, I would be like, the Cowboys won that game, right? No, they still found a way to lose this one. Now, some of the key stats that I'm looking at here, just as a stat person, I see that the yards per pass, Cowboys 4.5, Atlanta 8.1. So that's a pretty big one there. Looks like Atlanta did more in the passing game. They also sacked the Cowboys more. And they ran the ball more, even though they didn't run the ball for more yards. They ran the ball more, and that's probably have more to do with them having a lead. That's probably why they had such a lower yards per attempt, because the Cowboys knew they were down as far as the defense is concerned, and they crowded the line of scrimmage and tried to make sure to limit the big gains for the Atlanta Falcons on their running plays. But all in all, I don't know what to. I mean, I do know. I shouldn't say that. I should actually say I know what to make of this Cowboys team. So now we have 8 games of data, pretty much half the season. And, when the film comes out tomorrow, I'll be sure to hop on. If I don't get on tomorrow, I'll do it Tuesday. But one of these next couple days, I'll hop on and share the film with you, and we'll look at a handful of plays that seem to make the difference in the Cowboys game, and we'll be able to get a little bit better sense of why they sucked. A lot of it has to do with a combination of things. Some of it was with the play caller, but not all of it was with the play caller. Mike McCarthy actually had a couple of good plays. There was one of those times where Jake Ferguson is out in the flat for a screenplay that probably would have been a first down or a touchdown, but the block or the chip that he made on Matthew Judon wasn't quite where it needed to be. So he did have to play correct, as in he got to where he needed to be, and if he would have caught the ball, he gets a big play. But in order to get rewarded for that play, you have to take care of your job first. And your job first is to get a good chip on Matthew Judon so that he doesn't just have a free run at your quarterback. So you have enough time to get out where you needed to go to get to that play. Because if Ferguson makes a better chip I'm Matthew Judon, then what happens is he gets out to that flat, and now Dak Prescott is able to complete that pass, and now he can turn and look to eat and look to pad his stats and get a first down and probably even score because there was nobody on that side of the field. And when we get the all 22 and we're looking at it, because that's definitely one of the plays we're going to look at, we'll get to see a little bit more if, on first glance, it is the same thing. On the all 22, we'll get to see how many people are actually on that side of the field. But to me, it looked like both offensive linemen were out in front. They were in good position. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to make the blocks, but all we can infer is they were where they needed to be. They were in good position. Jake Ferguson was wide open, but he didn't take care of the little things, which was the first part of his job in order to be able to get that ball. A couple other big things that come out of this game. Dak Prescott ends up injured with a hamstring. I don't know how long he's going to be out. CeeDee Lamb was fighting through a shoulder injury that looked to be pretty severe. I don't know how long he's going to be out. He was playing during the game, but you can't put too much stock in that. Just as a person who played football before, sometimes you can have a lot of adrenaline going and you're already warmed up because you've been in the game for a couple quarters, so your muscles are more ready for these types of things if you want to play through certain injuries. But when you fly on a plane, right, because they're in Atlanta, so they're not home, they're on the road, so he doesn't get to sleep in his own bed till tomorrow. So when you're flying on a plane and you ice that thing up and you take a shower and then he gets home and he goes to sleep tomorrow and he wakes back up, that's probably going to be like a 7 on the pain scale. It's probably going to suck. So I don't know if that's going to heal within 6 days from tomorrow for him to be able to get it on the field against the Philadelphia Eagles and be able to take more hits to that shoulder. If he's able to get on the field, just know it's not going to be 100% CeeDee Lamb. He's probably going to be wrapped up there. He's probably going to get some sort of shot or injection before the game, which, as we all know, or if we don't all know, I'll clarify, that doesn't do anything to help you with your existing condition. All that does is numb the pain. You can still continue to do damage to that shoulder, and after the game is done, the shoulder is going to feel like you played 2 games with that shoulder. So even if he does get shot up and goes into the game, decides to play, and plays through the pain, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden the following week he gets a little bit better. No, it's probably going to be worse, and he's probably going to need an injection again. And then the following week it's going to get worse. So it's going to continue to compound unless it's not that severe, but it looked pretty severe during the course of the game. So one of the bright spots in the game was Rico Dowdle. This was his second game on the season that he was over 100 total yards, receiving and rushing. He also had a touchdown in the game, which came on pretty much like a circus catch. He gets the ball in his hands. Prescott puts it in the right place. He gets hit. He fumbles it. It bounces in the air. Defender's shoulder kind of hits him in the head, and then it lands right in his breadbasket, and he gets a touchdown. That was probably the coolest moment of the game as far as something nice to watch and see that it went our way, and he got a touchdown there. It was still a game at that point once he got that score. I believe at that point the score was, it looks like Atlanta 14-10. So I mean it's still a very tight game at that point. Cowboys are very much in it. And even though their third quarter wasn't as bad as the third quarters that we've genuinely come to see from the Cowboys, it was still pretty bad. Some of those plays in the third quarter, if the Cowboys would have got them to go, maybe a different way, then maybe some of these plays would have ended up being a little bit better towards the end of the game for the Cowboys. So if we're looking at it in the third quarter, Cowboys go 3 and out. They get the ball first to start. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta gets the ball back and they go down, they get a touchdown. So now the Cowboys are down 21-10. Atlanta 3 and out, they punt. Cowboys 3 and out, they punt. Atlanta 3 and out, they punt. Cowboys get a touchdown on an okay drive. Get a field goal on an okay drive. But then immediately after that, the very next drive, Atlanta goes down and gets a touchdown. So even though we were able to cut it to 21-13, Atlanta goes down there and makes a few clutch plays on that drive to make things a little bit different for the Cowboys. That's right at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I mean, you had Bijan Robinson catching a pass. Then you had Bijan Robinson catching a pass again out of the no huddle. It looks like Ray McLeod caught a pass right after that. And then again, Bijan Robinson gets a run. Saying on the other side, he gets the first down. Then Bijan Robinson again, gets a few yards. Tyler Algieri, boom, gets a few yards. And then Tyler Algieri again gets or Algier, I keep calling him Algieri, but there's no I at the end of the name. Algier gets the ball again, scores a touchdown. So after the Cowboys sort of got themselves back in the game, it was kind of the same thing that we've been going through the entire season. Defense can't, stop a freaking nosebleed, and then all of a sudden, Cowboys are in a situation when they're down once more. Once that happened, we all knew the game was over. I know a little bit after that, Dak Prescott had a few more plays, and he injured his hamstring. Eventually, when Cooper Rush comes in, the offense gets going and gets another touchdown, but it was too little too late. They had their chances. They did what they always do. And now you can just add two more names to the injury list with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And then even though Tyler Guyton came back in the game, we know now he's dealing with a neck injury too. Add that to Trayvon Diggs' calf. Add that to all the host of players that were missing. It's not going to look so sweet going into the Philadelphia game tomorrow. But hopefully the tape gets in. On the first initial watch, star up, DeMarvion Overshown. He looked awesome. He was all over the place again. I wish we had 11 Overshowns on defense because we would have an awesome defense if we had that going on. Also looked like Tyler Smith played a very good game. It didn't look like Zach Martin was much of a liability. Shout outs to Rico Dowdle. He gets star up as well. Some of the things we were looking at tape going into this game were the running game. And honestly, if Rico Dowdle had gotten more rushing attempts, it looks like he would have been even more productive. It looked like every time they gave it to him, he was giving it to the Falcons defense, but they were insistent on mixing in Dalvin Cook with the running game and kind of trying to give Rico a breather with him. It looked like we got to see a little bit of eating crow for some of the critics. The Cowboys did have that 3rd and 5, and I was one of those critics against the San Francisco 49ers where they handed it on a shotgun option read to Hunter Lipke, and it failed against the San Francisco 49ers. They did the same thing on a 3rd and 5 in this game, and it succeeded. So sometimes the coaches do have certain things that they see, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it works, they're awesome, and when it doesn't work, they're stupid. That's just how it all works with the people looking at the team, the people covering the team, and fans in general, right? Even probably down to the general manager, he's probably up there too going, no, yes. So it's interesting to see. Jerry Jones made some comments after the game. We'll get more into that this week as we go. But thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button so that you know when I'm coming on. You can also hit me up on Twitter at jmilleriyl. You can also hit me up via email. That's knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can leave comments below, questions, anything that you want me to cover specifically. I'll take them, here in the comments. I'll take them on Twitter. I'll take them in email, put them together in a mailbag, make it a formal segment. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're at 24 subscribers, so please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, I'm your host, J Mill if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace.